cab here. The Enterprise is standing by for your transport, sir. Lieutenant Cav here. The Enterprise is standing by for your transport, sir.
Welcome to Utopia Planitia. Do you need something? We're here for a weapons refit and some minor repairs. Nothing as bad as the damage we sustained in that last fight against Karukan and his fleet. Excellent work out there, by the way. Without you, we would have lost DS9. Now that the Undine are stirring up trouble as well, Starfleet wants every ship in top condition and operating with the best weapons we can devise. Do you need something? We're a new crew with a new ship. That's led to some issues, but I'm sure we'll be able to overcome them and represent Starfleet in the manner it deserves. I have an excellent senior staff. Some of them served with me on the Belfast. I'm confident we'll be ready to tackle anything. Do you need something? You'd have to ask Starfleet Command as to why. I've served in Starfleet for 23 years, most of that time as a tactical officer. I've taught at the Academy, served as a liaison to the Romulans after the destruction of their homeworld, and commanded the USS Belfast. I've been on 3 deep space exploration missions and participated in 14 first contact missions. That may be the resume of an Enterprise captain, but you and I both know there are other people in Starfleet with an even more impressive list of accomplishments. As to why I was chosen? A very wise man told me recently that in this time, the captain of the Enterprise must be a soldier, as well as a diplomat and an explorer. I'm just grateful for the opportunity. Do you need something? This is a human holiday, so I may not be the best source of information. First Contact Day honors the first flight of the Phoenix, Earth's first warp vessel, and the first contact between humans and Vulcans on April 5th, 2063. Without Zephram Cochrane and the Phoenix, I don't think Starfleet would be here today. There probably wouldn't be a Federation either. The Enterprise is here for repairs, but the main reason we've returned is to test some prototype weapons. I wasn't in favor of the ruse, but in light of the recent rise in Undine activity, Starfleet is turning its efforts to combating them, and we need to keep these tests secret. You're right. With agents like Cooper in our midst, well, it's beginning to remind people of the Dominion War. Given that you were with him when the Undine infiltrator made himself known, Admiral Tuvok suggested your experience could be valuable during these trials. I agreed.
Welcome to the Enterprise F. It's great to see you again so soon. Thanks again for allowing me to accompany you to the Gamma Quadrant. Something I won't soon forget. In fact, I wasn't sure we were getting out of that in one piece. May I help you? I'm the first officer. My time at Earth Space Dock gave me a lot of experience in organization and the utilization of resources, as well as how to deal with a lot of very different personalities. I went to ESD with the intention of getting the experience I needed to command my own ship. But when Captain Sean asked me to serve on the Enterprise, I knew that I had to accept. Since the Odyssey-class ships are the largest ever built by Starfleet, we'll have one of the biggest crews, too. It's going to be a tough job keeping everything running smoothly, but it's an honor serving with every single person on the ship. May I help you? I'm 4th generation Starfleet, so I feel more at home on a ship than planetside. There are a lot of expectations that come when your parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents all served, but I never wanted to be anywhere else. After the Academy, I served as an engineering officer here at Utopia Planitia and Deep Space 6. Later, I shipped out for tours of duty on the Tucker and the Montgomery Scott. After switching to command, I served as an aide to Admiral Quinn at Earth Space Dock. I learned a lot from the Admiral, but the opportunity to serve on the Federation's flagship was simply too good to pass up. I know that having family in Starfleet gives me contacts that not every officer has, but I've earned every position I've ever had, including this one. May I help you? The Phoenix was an amazing creation. Zephram Cochrane built her out of an old nuclear missile. He and his partner Lily Sloan scrounged for months to find the materials they needed. This was only a few years after Earth's Third World War. Most of the planet was devastated. To build something like this, literally out of the ashes, with no governmental support, Cochrane must have been a man of vision. May I help you?
Good day. I am the ship's counselor. Serving in Starfleet can be stressful in the best of times. In these times of conflict, there is an even greater need for people who can help officers and crewmen make sense of what they're seeing and experiencing. No matter the level of stress or the source, my office is open to anyone who feels they need some help working through whatever difficulties they might be facing. Admiral Crusher knows firsthand how stressful and difficult service on the Federation's flagship can be. When she offered me the opportunity to help some of Starfleet's very best, I couldn't resist. May I help you? I was posted to Deep Space Nine after Ezri Dax left to command the Aventine. After a few years there, I left Deep Space Nine to take a posting on the Fletcher, and then later transitioned to Earth, where I worked as a counselor at Starfleet Medical. Serving on the flagship in a time of war is difficult for everyone on the crew, but I feel that my skills and expertise will be a benefit. As Sobel ensures their bodies are in good health and fit for duty, so it is my duty to ensure their minds are similarly cared for and fit for duty. May I help you? When I was very young, First Contact Day was an excuse to take a day off and have some fun. When I grew older, and perhaps a bit wiser, I realized I might not exist if the Phoenix hadn't made her flight at exactly the right time. I'm human, but my great-grandmother was a Vulcan. My husband is Bajoran. All the connections we've made with other species, they have changed humanity, made us grow in new directions. Without First Contact, we wouldn't be who we are. May I help you?
Welcome. I'm here to help. I'm Chief of Operations. It's a big job on a ship like the Enterprise, but it's also my responsibility to schedule the use of all the ship's resources, hardware, and systems. Negotiating sensor time for the astrometrics department might not be the most glamorous job, but I like to think that I'm assisting everyone on the ship to do their jobs more efficiently. I'm here to help. It's funny, most of the rest of the crew say they dreamed about joining Starfleet since they were kids, but when I was growing up on Beta Z, leaving home wasn't something I really considered. When I was 17, my parents and younger brother died in a shuttle crash. After that, all my silly plans seemed so trivial. Life is short. You have to make the most of what time you have. I wanted to help people, so I applied to Starfleet. Those first 6 weeks of the academy were the hardest thing I've ever done. I thought about going home a lot, even packed my bags more than once. But after I got the hang of the routine and made a few friends, things changed. I knew this was where I was supposed to be. I went into operations because it was the fastest way to get a starship assignment. My first tour of duty was on the Obsidian, and I was waiting at Deep Space Nine for the Tempest to pick me up when the Jem'Hadar attacked. When we were evacuated to Bajor, I volunteered to help at the base. I remember you being there. Thanks for all your help. That's where I met Captain Sean. After he was given command of the Enterprise, he convinced me to join his crew. Not that it took much convincing. Think about it. It's the Enterprise. It's amazing! I'm here to help. Did you know that the Enterprise E was there too? During the Battle of Sector 001, a Borg ship opened a temporal vortex and launched a probe into the past. The Borg went back in time to 2063 and tried to stop the Phoenix's first flight, because if that flight didn't happen on April 5th, the Vulcan vessel wouldn't see it, and the first contact between humans and Vulcans wouldn't happen. Luckily, the Enterprise was there too. Of course, if the Enterprise hadn't stopped the Borg, there wouldn't have been first contact. And that means there probably wouldn't have been a Federation, which means there wouldn't have been an Enterprise to stop the Borg. Don't ask me. Temporal mechanics was my worst subject at the Academy. I'm here to help.
Greetings. How may I assist you? I am the Chief Science Officer. Captain Sean was my commanding officer on the Belfast. The loss of that vessel was regrettable, but necessary. I'm glad that at least we did all we could to help you get the Changeling back to DS9. Without your assistance, I don't think we would have been able to retake the station. After that, my homeworld would have been the next target. Thank you. How may I assist you? I was born in an internment camp in Perikian Peninsula, but I remember nothing of the occupation. After the Cardassians left Bajor, my father took a position in the provisional government with the Ministry of Agriculture. I grew up in the capital. Luckily, my parents had the resources to indulge my interest in science. After graduation, I left Bajor. I earned a position at the Vulcan Science Academy, where I earned advanced degrees in physics and exozoology. After that, I moved on to Starfleet. I've always been more comfortable with facts than feelings. In this way, I am different than most Bajorans. It's not that I don't believe in the prophets, but we need to look at them rationally. They are not gods, and we should not treat them as such. I continue to wear my earring to honor my culture and planet, not the alien species that shares our space. How may I assist you? It is interesting. Humans revere Zefram Cochrane, but if you study the mission logs of the Enterprise E crew and other sources about the man, you will find he was much more complex than history hollows portray. According to the logs, Cochrane didn't create the first warp engine to end war or to usher in a new era for mankind. In truth, he was an alcohol-addicted cynic who used his genius for financial gain. Nevertheless, his invention did change Earth, and with it, the entire galaxy. To me, this shows that even an endeavor launched for the wrong reasons can have extraordinary results. It is as Cochrane himself said, "Don't try to be a great man, just be a man, and let history make its own judgments." How may I assist you?
Hello. I'm the chief engineer. It's my duty to ensure that every system on board the Enterprise is functioning at top capacity and ready at a moment's notice. I spend most of my time with the warp core, but keeping the captain's replicator running can be just as important. May I help you? I was born on Deep Space Nine shortly before the Dominion War. After the war, my family moved to Earth, where my dad taught at Starfleet Academy. My mother worked all over the quadrant, though, so I ended up spending a lot of time in interesting forests and jungles on places like Bajor, Alpha Centauri, and even Cardassia Prime. My interests have always been in engineering, though. I'm a bit like my dad in that regard. A lot of my time in Starfleet has been working in a shipyard or in a research facility. When the opportunity to join the Enterprise came up, I could hardly believe my luck. My father always spoke well of his time on the Enterprise D. I knew that serving on the flagship would be a great experience with a lot of challenges. It's been an honor serving here with Captain Sean and the rest of the crew. May I help you? Maybe it's the engineer in me talking, but First Contact Day has always represented how a little innovation can have huge positive effects. The Phoenix was an amazing craft, not just because of what it did, but because of how it was created. Cochrane didn't have much to work with, but he made the plan in his head a reality, and the Phoenix flew. I guess I took away the idea that I should keep trying, keep improving, and keep tinkering. Because you never know how important what you're working on might be in the future. May I help you? I do. Ambassador Worf has been a friend of my family since my parents were on the Enterprise D. It's a bit of a long story, but he even delivered my older sister, Molly. That's the most difficult part of this conflict for me. I know my duty, but I don't hate anyone in the Empire. I might not agree with them, but Klingons like Ambassador Worf have shown me how honorable they can be. May I help you?
Good day. I am the tactical officer, but I also act as chief of security. It's my job to follow the captain's commands in combat, and to keep my ship and crew safe from harm. It is a duty I take quite seriously. May I help you? I was raised in a small agricultural community on Kate. It was nice, if a little dull. I joined Starfleet because it was the most exciting career I could find. Once I got here, though, I found service is more than a thrill. It is an honor to fight for the Federation. May I help you? It is a human holiday, but I enjoy the spirit of camaraderie. The Enterprise E defeated the Borg to make this event possible. I am proud to serve on another Enterprise and continue that legacy of excellence. May I help you?
peace and long life. Do you have another question? I am the Chief Medical Officer. Tending to the medical needs of a crew the size and diversity of the Enterprises is not unlike running a small hospital. In addition, my staff and I need to be prepared to deal with any medical issue that may arise during our missions. My first challenge: convincing Captain Sean to report for his compulsory physical. I have found that he is not the only commanding officer who is resistant to taking time for his own health. It is a trait common to captains. Do you have another question? When I was at the academy, one of my medical instructors asked me why I chose to pursue medicine rather than a career as a science officer. I explained to him that not only is serving others the greatest achievement that any being can aspire to, compassion for others is inherently logical. After all, Surak teaches us that Vulcans need to master their emotions, not purge them. During my Starfleet career, I have served on 8 starships, 6 of those as Chief Medical Officer. On every ship, there has been at least one patient who has found my bedside manner lacking and attributed that to my being a Vulcan. They are in error. The Chief Medical Officer of a starship has no time for coddling or bedside banter. Do you have another question? My people were on a survey mission in the Sol system when they detected the warp signature of the Phoenix. My people's standard policy was not to interfere with species who were not prepared for extraterrestrial contact. Our beliefs influenced what would become Starfleet's prime directive. When the crew of the Taplana Hoth picked up the flight of the Phoenix, however, they sent a shuttle to investigate. It is that event that is marked here today. Do you have another question?
I have the coordinates for the test run. We are ready to begin when you are.
Starfleet has authorized the testing of these weapons on some disabled Undine bioships. We don't have many of these at our disposal, but this will be the next best thing to a live fire exercise against fully functional targets. You have significant combat experience, and I welcome your insights. Take command for the tests. I will observe the tactical data as it comes in. second group. Kiona and I will make some adjustments.
Use the enhanced biomolecular photon torpedo equipped on your ship to destroy the targets.
However, we've proven these weapons are more effective against the Undine than what we had previously. And with the data from this battle, we can work to improve them even more. Admiral Tuvok warned us the Undine would be taking more aggressive action. He was right. I'll take the Enterprise directly to Earth's space dock to alert Starfleet Command. I don't want to risk transmitting this report via subspace.